Hey polish fans, it's Caroline again, and welcome to another video here at Wild Windlocker. In today's video, I am finally getting around to another segment of the swatches, comparisons, and second round of destashes, so to speak, of that huge haul of estate polish that I got on Facebook Marketplace. Today, we are going to be going over the handful of oranges that I have up at top. As you can see, there's not that many. And then the rest of these are going to be the reds to the sort of reddish purples. And after this, I think we're going to do the pinks, but those will be in a different video. So again, apologies about these taking much longer than anticipated to roll out to you guys. But today we're going to go ahead and compare these to each other. I don't think we're going to have any straight across dupes, or at least very few in the oranges, because there's not that many in general, and a lot of them are completely different from each other. I think where we're going to get into some interesting comps is in our reds and our deeper reddish with purple tinges to them. So that should be interesting. I don't think I'm going to do as well as half of these gone as I did in part one. That was our berries, simply because we do have that whole row of very unusual oranges. And then down here at the bottom, we do have a few more of the unusual colors. So I don't know how many we're going to have as dupes in this video or how many I'm going to be able to destash. I think my goal will be maybe a third of these, and we'll just see how it goes. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed that reds have sort of started to grow on me. I'm wearing a red right now, in fact. This is a newer purchase. This is Mooncat's Your Heart's a Black Hole. So reds have sort of grown on me over the last few months, more so than I have ever worn them previously. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first one is not really going to be a comparison at all. I forgot to mention the name of the brand that we're looking at, but these are all going to be by Colors by Llarowe. This first one is Bow Chicka Wow Wow, and this is in 3 coats. This is a very unusual color, even to compare to these in the same color family, because this one is basically a neon. This one has a neon pinkish orange quality to it with a pink flash. This one's a keeper, you guys. This one, like I said, I don't have anything else really to compare it to, so this one is a keeper for sure. The next one also doesn't really have anything to compare it to. This one is Shot Through the Heart. This is it in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. All of these have a top coat on them. And this one, again, like I said, doesn't really have anything to straight across compare it to. I mean, it could kind of go down here, but when I was comparing it to some reds, it was a little bit more orangey, and when I compare it to oranges, it's a little bit more red. So to me, it falls into its own color category, and again, because of that, I do think I'm going to be holding on to this one. So that is Shot Through the Heart, and that one is going to be a keeper. So normally I do try to go over each polish a lot more thoroughly as far as the descriptions, but for these redo rounds, so to speak, I am trying to be a little bit faster and not go into too much detail about each individual polish. Okay, now we're coming up onto our first comparison in our oranges. We're going to be looking at an Oops and Turkey Coma. These are in 3 coats for the Oops, 2 coats for Turkey Coma, and these are both this sort of a burnt orangey red, and they are both stunning. So this one is the orange Oops. This is the one that is in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. Look at that gorgeous color. This one is really, really pretty. I love the sort of a burnt colorization that's in there. It is really stunning. And then here is Turkey Coma. Whoops. And then here is Turkey Coma. This one I feel like has a bit less of a burnt orange quality to it. So on the top you have Turkey Coma, on the bottom you have the orange Oops. They are both stunning. I think for myself personally, I am really drawn to that burnt quality of that Oops. So because of that, I will be keeping the Oops, and I think, ooh, am I destashing Turkey Coma? That one had a really gorgeous formula in just 2 coats, but if I have the Oops, would I reach for Turkey Coma? Nope. We're going to go ahead and keep the Oops and destash Turkey Coma. Okay. The next one is Obtrad. This is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one is kind of a burnt orange as well, although this one is much more of a neutral shade by comparison. Here's that Oops. Much more saturated than Obtrad. I do like this shade. I do like the sort of neutral lean to it. It sort of has a pinky flash to it. I don't know if you can see that pink, little bit of a pink flash there at the top. Here it is in the bottle. It has a gorgeous hollow to it. I'm just trying to decide if, because I do already have, no, those are different enough. You know what? We're going to go ahead and go with it. It is more of a neutral color, and I think it is still pretty unique to my collection. So I think we are going to go ahead and keep that one. I am not off to a good start with my oranges. I've only destashed one of them. Okay, next up, this is another one that doesn't really have anything to compare it to. This is In Your Face. This one is 3 coats. This was in sort of a larger particled golden fleck in this beautiful orange, somewhat of a melony coral orange lean. This is absolutely gorgeous. It has amazing shimmer and sparkle. I'm just trying to decide if I already have enough in this color range, because I have a lot of this color combination, this sort of an orange with a gold shimmer. So I am wondering if I do have something similar enough. I can think of one from either Kale or Lights Lacquer. It might be Who Loves Orange Soda or something along those lines. And it has a very similar vibe to it. But I'm loving the sort of pinky flash to it. Oh, I was going to say I was going to go ahead and destash this. How is it that I did so much better with my fuchsia purpley berries than my oranges? How strange is that?
2 hours later.
You know what? This is a little on the sheer side. That's going to be the clincher for me. Sheer oranges and corals, I don't particularly love on myself, at least last time I tried them. So I think, oh man, why is this one being so difficult? I did so good in the last one. I don't know. There's something about this that doesn't want me to destash it. So we're going to go ahead and keep this one. That was In Your Face. And then I can always do comparisons and see where it lands with that one that I was thinking of, and a few others that I'm pretty sure I own. All right, the next one is again not really having anything in the other colors by Llarowe to compare it to. This is Hillbilly Harlot. This is in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. Pardon the little fleck of I don't know what that got in there, but look at this beautiful glow. So this is sort of a almost pastel neon. You have this pastel melony neon shade. It isn't quite as yellow as I feel like it's coming off on my screen currently, but what I really liked about this, besides the nice shade of it, is a beautiful pink flash that is there on the nail. So this is another one that I think is going to get a free pass into my keeps. This I think would be a very fun shade for summer. So that was Hillbilly Harlot. That's going to go in the keep pile. The next one is Schwartzman Heineken, and this is in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. This is a cream, and it is somewhat of a like bleached neon. And you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. It is just your basic cream, and I did need 3 coats to reach full opacity. I think for myself personally, I prefer my creams to be a little bit more opaque than that, especially in this color range. And I just don't know how in love with this color I am on my own skin tone. So I think for that reason, this is going to be another that goes into the destash. Finally, we have another one joining Turkey Coma. And then the last one in our top row could have gone in with the pinks, but this is, again, sort of in this weird color range. This is Slippery Little Suckers. This is in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. This was too orange to be compared to my pinks. However, when you compare it to my oranges, it has a lot of pink in it. This is sort of this salmon-y leaning pink color. It is actually very difficult to describe. On my screen, it's coming off a little bit more skin toned than it really is in real life. There is a lot more pink to this, that sort of an orange leaning pink. This one is very unusual. There is this sort of a blue glow there in the bottle, which I thought was really unusual. I'm just trying to decide if this is one that I could see myself wearing or not. Obviously, all of these at some point or another when I was doing the major haul were ones that I wanted to keep. So that's why they're in this pile. But for this second run, I am trying to be a little bit more willing to let some of these go so that I don't overwhelm my collection or myself. I think at this point I already am beyond that point. But this one, I think I will go ahead and let go. I think for my summer shades, which I would sort of feel like this falls into, it's not as saturated as I would want to reach for. And I think for my spring shades, it's a little bit too bright. So for myself, I think I'm okay just letting this one go. So that was Slippery Little Suckers. So we had 3 that were in the Destash for that one, and 6 keepers. So yeah, that's about a third right there. So that's not horrible. All right, on to the really hard ones. Oh goodness, this is going to be difficult. These are all of the shades of red. Now I tried to sort of color categorize them pinkish to deeper tones. I don't know how well I did on those. We might have to be doing a little bit of rearranging as we go. For instance, I think these two could kind of go further into this direction here. Okay, I think we're a little bit better organized now. So let's go ahead and start over here. The first one is You're a Little Firecracker. This is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one sort of has this multi-chrome in the bottle. You have shades of orange and gold depending on how you tilt the bottle. I would say on the nail, at least in my lighting here, it's not as super obvious on the nail that this one has those multi-chromatic shifts to it, but it does have a beautiful look on the nail, and this is only 2 coats. The formula on this was really nice. This one is, again, in this lineup, sort of unique because maybe it has that multi-chromatic shimmer to it. It doesn't really compare straight across to any of these colors. So for that reason, I do want to hold on to this. I want to see how this one shows up in different lighting and if any of those multi-chromatic shimmers that I'm seeing in the bottle show up in different lights. This one does look really, really nice. So that one is going to be a keeper as well. That is You're a Little Firecracker. I think we're going to do just one more little shuffle because I see that these two might look a little bit more similar. Just going to scooch these guys down so I can compare those two. Okay, these two I think we're going to do a comparison of. This is I'm Home and Sweet Beginnings. Actually, we're going to go ahead and do a comparison of the next 3 because the other one is Sweet Beginnings reformulated. So here they are in the bottle. From left to right, we have I'm Home, Sweet Beginnings, the original, that was the polish of the month for April 2016, and then the reformulated version of Sweet Beginnings to the right. So in the bottle, how do these compare? I mean, these are pretty similar. I would say I don't need all 3, for sure. I don't need all 3. Okay, let's go ahead and see them on the swatch sticks. Oh yeah, for sure do not need all 3. So again, this is in the same order from left to right. I'm Home, the middle is Sweet Beginnings, and the right is the reformulated Sweet Beginnings. All of these are in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. And while I do see some slight variances between the reformulated and the original, and maybe even a little bit more of a pinky hue to I'm Home, again, I don't think I need all 3. I really like this sort of pinky quality to I'm Home, which is also a little bit there in the original Sweet Beginnings. The reformulated one is a little bit more on the red side. I know on screen you guys are probably like, these are all the same. So like I said, I don't need all 3. Which one of these would I reach for the most, or which of these sort of stands out among these? You know, I'm really liking I'm Home, that deep pink lean that it has. I'm really enjoying, so we're going to go ahead and keep that. That one is I'm Home. So am I keeping Sweet Beginnings or the reformulated Sweet Beginnings, or either of them? They are slightly different, but not a huge change. I mean, it's not a drastic difference by any means. You know, I think we have a few more of these type of reds, these juicy reds with a little bit of a hollow to them. I don't feel particularly overly drawn to either of these because I am keeping I'm Home. So you know what? I think we're going to go with it because that's not going to happen very often. That is Sweet Beginnings and the reformulated Sweet Beginnings, both of them going into the Destash. Okay, so the next 2 that we're going to compare is Bless Your Wicked Little Heart and Little Miss Independent. Both of these are in 3 coats, and here they are in the bottle. Now, I want to say that Bless Your Wicked Little Heart almost has like a UP shimmer quality to it. That size and how it sparkles really reminds me of UP. Meanwhile, Little Miss Independent has some micro glitters in it. You can see all of those colors twinkling away. You've got blues and reds, and some of those blues are sort of in that blurple tone, so they are definitely different. So here on the top is Bless Your Wicked Little Heart. Little Miss Independent is there on the bottom. There on the nail, you can see a lot of that glitter. All of these are with glossy top coat, but I would say for Little Miss Independent, because it is so glitter heavy, it does keep a little bit of that texture. I probably would end up wearing this one with a glitter smoother and then a glossy top coat. And yeah, Bless Your Wicked Little Heart, I swear, has at least a sibling UP pigment in it. It has a beautiful twinkle and sparkle, a little bit more of a juicy berry in that red base. So do I need both? Are they different enough to keep both? I think I'm going to surprise myself and keep both because they are different. You have the chunkier glitters in Little Miss Independent, and like I keep saying, you have that sort of an Aurora or UP shimmer in Bless Your Wicked Little Heart, and it's just a gorgeous color. Now, I know on camera it might look like these are much closer than they are in person, but even in the base colors, I do see a difference. You have that berry lean in Bless Your Wicked Little Heart and much more of a true red in Miss Independent. So I think we're going to go ahead and just go with it and keep both. And hopefully I can make some better cuts in the rest of this. Okay, the next two are again sort of in the same color range. We have Hey Romeo, which is a stamping polish, and Ben Affleck is Sheila's Homeboy. So here they are in the bottle. Again, I don't think these are dupes. We have a little bit more of like a deeper red in Hey Romeo, whereas there's more of maybe like a brighter tone or a shimmer going on. I think the Hey Romeo needs a little bit more of a shake though. But as you can see, it does have a pink hollow component, whereas the one in Ben Affleck is Sheila's Homeboy might have more of like a red hollow pigment. So they are, again, different. Let's go ahead and see them once they're swatched though, and see if those differences remain. Both of these are in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. And I think I got a little bit of fuzz on Hey Romeo, but here they are. And yeah, definitely 2 different shades of red. We have more of that deeper pink leaning in Hey Romeo and more of a true red in Ben Affleck is Sheila's Homeboy. Again, hopefully on camera you guys can see the differences here. Really loving the hollow though in Ben Affleck. That is amazing. I do really love the deeper cherry tone of Hey Romeo though. That one is gorgeous as well. Reds were supposed to be my easy one, but they never end up being as easy as I think they're going to be. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, they're different. We definitely have more of that pink in Hey Romeo, much more of a true lipstick red in Ben Affleck. You guys, my red collection is going to explode. I think we're going to go ahead and keep these both. How is that happening? But yeah, I like them both, and I could easily see myself wearing both. And both of them have really nice formulas. Like I said, they're both only 2 coats, and those are fully opaque. Okay, we're just going to move on. The next one is No, I'm Still Tacky. And even though I don't really have another one to compare it to, yeah, this one's going to be all on its own. This is No, I'm Still Tacky in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one I believe was in the Pretty Woman collection, and this one has less of a linear hollow flare and more of just a scattered hollow. It almost gives it like a velvety finish. This does have a glossy top coat, but this doesn't have the same look on the nail as the other 2 that I've kept. And I mean, it's interesting. I like this. Like I said, in the bottle, you see that it does have a hollow pigment in there. That's that silver that you're seeing. It just doesn't translate almost at all to the nail as far as a linear hollow, but it is really pretty and nice and opaque. This is only 2 coats. Now, compared to the other 2, it does have more of like an orangey red lean. And like I said, the finish of it is quite different. I'm just trying to decide. Yeah, the reds are having it. I think we're going to keep No, I'm Still Tacky. It's different enough from the other reds. Hopefully you guys can see there how different that is. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and hold on to that one as well. All right, moving on to the next 2. We're going to do Strega and an Oops Red Sparkle with Nice Bridge. Now these I don't think are dupes of each other. These ones are pretty different, but they're in a similar juicy, somewhat squishy red base. So we have Strega, the Oops, and Nice Bridge. And the middle one, the Oops, is definitely the most different. I think you can see there's sort of this purpley, darker tinge around the corners of the bottle by comparison. Strega, again, has almost like this UP or UP sibling pigment shimmer to it. It has a nice sparkle. There is a purple hue as well as almost a deeper quality to that Oops, and the Nice Bridge has those chunky glitters. So we are definitely dealing with 3 different formulations here, but let's go ahead and see them on the swatch sticks and see if I need all 3. So from left to right we have Strega, the Oops, and Nice Bridge. Once swatched, we do maintain that deeper quality that Oops has. I'm actually not sure what that might be an Oops of offhand. Nice Bridge has those chunkier glitters, and Strega is the sheerest and the most squishy. It ends up being this beautiful sort of a pinkish red that has a very strong shimmer in it. That Oops, like I said, is the darkest, and then Nice Bridge has those glitters, those beautiful glitters. Do I need all 3? Strega we're keeping because it has that shift, that UP-ish quality to it. It's got that red to green to gold shifting shimmer. I love those. I cannot seem to get enough of those, so that is definitely going in the keeps. The red Oops Sparkle, that one is very pretty. This one has sort of a larger particled shimmer to it. It does have some shifts in it as well as that purpley sparkle, but I am keeping a ton of other reds. Do I need this one as an Oops? Probably not. We're going to go ahead and go with that because I need to destash some of them. So the Oops is going to go ahead and get the axe. Am I keeping Nice Bridge? That has those chunky glitters, and this one by comparison is less red. This has more of that pink lean to it. Are these glitters or flakies? Maybe it's both. Actually can't quite tell. It does have a beautiful hollow flare to it as well. This one is super squishy though. I think we're going to go ahead and let this one go. Yeah, I think we're going to make myself get rid of one. Nice Bridge is going to go in the destash. Actually, in this one, I'm getting rid of 2, so that's extra good. Okay, moving on. We're getting into some of our deeper tones. These first few are ones that lean a little bit purple. So we are going to compare. I think we're going to do one more little switcheroo and compare these guys. We are going to compare Fire to the Rain with Love Spell. So here they are side by side, Fire to the Rain and Love Spell. So obviously you can see some differences already. There's a larger flaky in Love Spell, whereas there is like a silver micro glitter in Fire to the Rain. Now, once swatched though, these do seem pretty comparable. Not dupes, but at least giving off a similar vibe in the tone of color that they are. Obviously there's that glitter and flaky component, and actually in Love Spell there are some black glitters that I don't know that you can see in the bottle, but there on the nail you can see them. So that is a major difference between Love Spell and Fire to the Rain, which again, Fire to the Rain more has a little bit of a twinkle to it, and then you have the chunkier glitters in Love Spell. And you know what? I don't know that I'm really loving the black glitters in that, so I think we're going to go ahead and let Love Spell go. That one is kind of a surprise because I really love those flakies. I mean, look at that. That is really pretty, but I'm not loving the black glitters in it for some reason. Am I keeping Fire to the Rain? Honestly, I think we're getting rid of Fire to the Rain as well. I'm just not feeling it. And as you saw, sometimes I'm having a hard time letting things go. So we're going to go ahead and let them go when the feeling hits. Okay, next, Toasty Fires, I think doesn't really compare to the next one, so we're going to look at this all on its own. This is Toasty Fires in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one has a beautiful shimmer in it. This is it mainly with the shimmer settled on one side of the bottle. Here's that deeper tone that you're going to see. This one definitely has a like purple leaning wine quality to it. It doesn't have any extra glitters or hollow or anything like that. It is a really stunning color though, but because it is fairly simple, I don't know how unique this one would be in my collection So even though it is really pretty and I am seeing some shifts in the bottle, I'm seeing some orange and green, I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. We're going to go ahead and let this one go. Again, while the filling hits, we're going to go ahead and go with it. Next up, this one, do I have anything to compare this one to? Not really. So this is another one that doesn't really have anything to compare it to. This is What's Love Got to Do With It. This is in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. This one has a lot going on. Here in the bottle you can see all of the little bits and twinkles, and we've got hollow and like micro flakies and maybe some micro glitter. Here's how it ends up looking on the nail. Again, 3 coats with a glossy top coat. This one is really pretty. I'm just not feeling it as much as I have been the other reds for whatever reason. So we're going to go with it again. So What's Love Got to Do With It is another in the Destash. Oh, we're making up some progress. We're making up some progress. Okay, now we're getting into our deeper reds. These 3, we're going to go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison. So here we've got Hearts on Fire, Devoted, and Love Actually. These ones, at least in the bottle, are pretty similar. They are different though. They aren't going to be straight across dupes. In the bottle for Hearts on Fire, you have a lot more of a linear flare of that hollow. Devoted has some micro glitter, and then Love Actually has some hollow and some micro glitter. So they are different. We're going to go ahead and see how they look on the swatch sticks and see how similar they look once swatched. So here they are from left to right: Hearts on Fire, Devoted, and Love Actually. So Love Actually is definitely the darkest. Hearts on Fire, though, has a beautiful glow about it because of that addition of the hollow. It has a bit of a stronger hollow lean. And Devoted is beautiful. It sort of reminds me of, what is that? It's an Essie, or maybe it's a China Glaze. There might be one in each brand actually, of that sort of a deeper red of a micro glitter. And this one is very pretty. I'm just wondering how it would compare to those ones that I already do own. And if I need all 3 of these, I will say Hearts on Fire is gorgeous. This is also in 2 coats. The other 2 polishes are in 3 coats. So Hearts on Fire is a keeper. That one is definitely in the keep pile. The other 2, so Devoted is the one that sort of reminds me, at least idea-wise, of the bottles that I'm thinking of. One might be Ruby Slippers. I think that might be the one from China Glaze. Can't think of what the name is from the one that I'm thinking of in Essie. It might have a darker base. I am really liking the vampy tone of Love Actually, but I have been getting a lot of these darker shades. Just trying to decide. Oh my goodness. And we're back onto a difficult decision. I was on a roll there for a while. I really like how sparkly Devoted is. I mean, that one is absolutely gorgeous. It has some sparkle and twinkle. It has a lot of sparkle and twinkle, actually. There in the bottle, you can see all of the bits and goodies. It also has hollow. So that one I think is going to be a keeper as well. Do I want to keep Love Actually? Yep, Love Actually is a keeper as well. So Love Actually is going to be in the keep pile as well. All right, well, I was on a roll. All right, now on to the last row down here. The next polish, I think, is another one that has, yes, this one has for sure UP in it. This is upside down in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. I don't think this is going to come as a shock to anybody. This one is a keeper. This is a harder and harder to come by pigmentation because, as far as I understand it, even though it is still made, they use it in US currency, so they aren't really making it publicly accessible. So it's one that I do like to see when it comes up in polish, and this has a beautiful purpley red base. It's less red and more purple, but it wasn't really purple enough to be compared to my purples. It has a lot of that red lean to it when you compare it to a cooler toned purple. So no surprise, upside down is in the keep pile. I mean, I don't know if you can see the UP sparkle, but it is, ugh, chef's kiss. Absolutely gorgeous. And don't accidentally put that one upside down. Okay. Next up, we are going to compare these 2. On the left is Do the Twist. On the right is Show Me the Love. Now, again, these are not dupes at all. I think on camera, you're seeing the part that does have comparisons. That's that sort of a purpley dark berry. But In person, even that is different. I am not seeing much of the purple. I'm seeing different shades of red. So on Show Me the Love, it is more of a like deep burnt leaning red. And then on Do the Twist, it has much more of a softened, blurred out red quality. Now again, I don't think any of that red is really showing up on camera, but where these completely differ is right there. So Do the Twist has green to blue. Again, that blue I don't think is coming up at all. The one on the right, which is Show Me the Love, also has the hollow component. And as you can see, it has more of a gold to yellow shift. So both of these are pretty unusual. Again, not dupes at all, but let's go ahead and see how they look once they are swatched. So on the top is Show Me the Love. On the bottom is Do the Twist. These are both in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. And Show Me the Love ends up being much more of a red, whereas Do the Twist has more of that, at least on camera, purple. But again, in person, I'm not seeing that purple. I'm seeing a muted red. So it's going to have a lot of shifts. I think both of them are going to, but do I need both of them? That is the question. I mean, I almost would say I could get rid of Do the Twist, but that's only because I'm comparing it to a much more saturated color. Show Me the Love is definitely a keeper. I love this color. This is absolutely gorgeous. But does that mean that Do the Twist is not a keeper? I don't think so. I mean, again, look at those shifts that you're seeing. Those aren't really showing up super, super strong here on the nail, but to me, especially with these older formulations of this kind of a multichrome, I think that was pretty commonplace. Now I think makers have somewhat, I don't know, tweaked the formulation of some of these dustier multichromes to make them a little bit more amped. Either that or it's the formulation themselves of the actual pigment has been reformulated. I honestly don't know. I am not a maker, but I don't know. There's something about this that is just absolutely jaw-dropping. I love the electric green and gold that you can see at certain angles. And I want to see how this might look over maybe a dark gray or maybe even a black to see if I can't pull up some of that beautiful, beautiful shifts that I'm seeing in the bottle. So that one is a keeper as well. Do the Twist is staying in the collection. All right, just a few more. The next two are we're going to do as a side-by-side comparison as well. We have One Precious Day Z and Love and Madness. Again, these aren't necessarily dupes, but they do have a similar component in them. They both have a larger particled gold fleck, although the base of them is different. We have more of a deep like oxblood in One Precious Day Z and more of a dusty purpley wine color in Love and Madness. Let's see how they compare once swatched. So here, Love and Madness is on top. One Precious Day Z is here. And I think you can see that what I was talking about, you have more of a dusty quality to Love and Madness, but you have more of a saturated, deeper, I think I said oxblood when it was in the bottle, but here it does have a berry lean to it, at least in person. So it's got a mix of a berry and an oxblood. Very beautiful. Both of them are lovely. Here's how One Precious Day Z looks on. And this one is Love and Madness. I mean, they are both stunning, but right now, what I'm feeling more of is One Precious Daisy. And I mean, Love and Madness is really pretty too. But yeah, I'm just feeling One Precious Daisy more. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with that. Love and Madness is going to go ahead and be destashed. And One Precious Daisy is going to be a keeper. All right, and then the last two aren't exactly dupes, but we're going to compare them because they're similar. We have Red Light, Yellow Light, Green Light, Go, and Show Off. So both of these, again, are similar-ish. I feel like on camera you're going to see more similarities than I'm seeing in person, especially once they're swatched. We have a smoother formula in Show Off, and what I mean by that is the particle size is very smooth, as you can see there. By comparison, you have more of a little dispersed look with the particle size in Red Light, Green Light. There's also some additional maybe micro red glitters. There's hollow in Show Off, so there's a lot of differences. And then again, with these being multi-chromes, once you shift them, you can see some of the differences. Now, of course, on camera, the shifts are looking pretty similar, but in person, I'm seeing a blue-green, like a forest jungle green in that shift, whereas I'm seeing a much brighter golden hue to Show Off. So that part is different. Now, again, these are kind of similar, but not exactly dupes. Let's go ahead and see them swatched. We have red light, yellow light in 2.5 coats I put. So I may have had to do a slight third coat on that one. And then show off is in 3 coats. That's that one there up at the top. So here I think you can see the big differences. We have more of a orange quality, and in fact on camera, my camera is not picking up that orange. This is a blaring burnt orange fall polish in person, and this one, which is red light green light, in person has this deep blackened quality to it with that multi-chrome that sort of flashes off of it, and the micro glitter is definitely apparent. So these are much more different once swatched, and especially in person. Yeah, these are not anything alike. Yeah, the green in red light, green light really shows up in different lighting. Both of these are keepers. Yep, I am a sucker for my multi-chromes. All right, so that was that round. Let's go ahead and see how many destashes we ended up with. So we had 35 polishes that we looked at today and 12 destashed. So kind of around a third. Definitely didn't do as well as I did on the first part. That was in those berry shades. But I mean, I did have a run here of polishes that I was willing to destash. So, I mean, that's good, right? I feel like a lot of these were kind of hard to compare though, because we had a lot of different shades of oranges up there, like I mentioned at the beginning. And then down here, those multi-chromes really throw you for a loop because they are very different. So all in all, I'd say I'm still pretty pleased with how well I did. Might have been able to go ahead and destash a few more, but I'm going to go ahead and count this as a win as well. 12 destashed. Let me know which ones were your favorites. Did I destash any that you thought I should keep, or vice versa? Keep any that you're like, you don't need that. Let me know what you thought. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys had a good time checking out the comparisons portion of that huge haul of estate polish. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in that next one.